Zero.
Thanks for joining another episode of Playing the Artist, a web show, podcast, thingamadoo, where me and my pal Alex talk about trying to. Why am I talking like this? Trying to be artists, trying to be
Sounds like your
creative
brain's
people.
somewhere else.
It is. Well, I was on a back and forth text with somebody. But anyways, it's a show about me and Alex, and we're trying to be fucking creative people. We're trying to get paid for our creative skill, essentially.
Yeah, that's right.
And we were chit chatting. We had essentially a mini podcast with no cameras. We just had a normal talk like a bunch of old men.
Yeah.
And Alex can pay his rent with his Patreon and his sales, which I know what you're thinking. That's it.
It's not a lot. It's not like
Yeah, because you still have like other expenses, right?
Yeah, of course.
But from where you were before, you know what I mean? Where you weren't selling anything, you weren't like, you know what I mean? You weren't selling anything, and now you making a significant amount of money to the point where it's like, oh, this is nice. I have a little bit more money in my pocket now.
It's beyond just like
it's not just money. It's not like, oh, I can get a meal. It's like, oh no, you can you can take this and put it towards your savings or whatever, or maybe invest in a new computer or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? To be fair, a lot of the money does go right back. I mean, there's a lot of software stuff you got to buy. There's like, oh, I want to send some prints to this person so that he can paint them. Hopefully, giveaways, that sort of thing. That a lot of it is being spent back in right now, but yeah, I mean, so everything is right on Patreon. A lot of patrons have been, most patrons hide that number, like this number of followers. You have this much.
I thought they couldn't hide their followers. I thought they have to at least show the followers.
You might be on. Yeah, you might be right. You might be right.
They can hide the money amount.
I don't know if you might be able to hide them both. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Hey, I have a Patreon question. So
what's that?
Are you getting paid in American dollars?
Yeah.
How do they pay you out?
It's always American dollars. Okay. And well, I don't know about always, but
that's what they do.
That's the default, at least.
So that's great then. That means so you're definitely getting paid more than I thought.
Well, yeah.
Once you take that, once you exchange that, you get a little bit more, right? So
yeah, basically everybody who doesn't live in the U.S. kind of benefits from that. And it got to the point where it was like,
well, not everybody. There's other places where the currency is higher than.
I didn't hear a word you said.
Can you hear me now?
No. I can just barely hear you.
What the fuck? How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good now.
Can you hear me now?
You sound great.
I sound great? Okay.
Yeah. No, it's USD is just the standard. And I ended up changing my store to USD just so that I can because you kind of need to just to know that the price. Okay, my price at my mini factory is this. My web store is this. Patreon is this. So you can actually do a proper comparison of everything.
It's just everything coherent for sure. I got another question for you about Patreon. I was just wondering. So you do a per monthly subscription, right?
Yeah.
And there's other people that do when you release something, or they do every second month or whatever. Is it
not really? You can. I mean, there are people that do per release, but almost nobody in miniatures does that. I haven't seen anyone that does.
I've seen one person. No, I've seen a couple actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you really don't want to because it's exploitable. I don't know. Maybe if your business is so different and you're releasing a mini a day or something like that.
There's this one guy called Vidivic Arts, and he's this. I think he's from the. I think he's.
Vidivic Arts.
But yeah. Anyways, he does YouTube videos on the releases of his models, but all his models are free in these YouTube videos.
Oh, I see.
So he'll do like a little thing where he's like, "Oh, I made this," and like, he might talk about like the things that went right or went wrong, or like how you're supposed to print this and like how he painted it or whatever. It's just like a little thing, and he does a video like once a week.
Yeah. So in a YouTube video,
you can, and how he does it, he just like has it as pay on release or pay what you want. It's like it's just like an open kind of thing.
I think that actually makes sense for him because the YouTube video is on YouTube. Once it's released, there's no like you don't have to withhold that from anybody. It's just always there.
But he has these models, right? He has these models, but they're free. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a different story. I don't.
Yeah.
Like you want people to have to. You want to charge people to come in because you want to charge people at the moment they come in because like otherwise they can just download your files and bounce, right? So, and on per release, there's no way to charge somebody as they enter your Patreon.
But that wasn't my question, by the way. My question was actually, you like cut me off. You cut me off before I could actually ask the question.
Oh, okay.
So the real question was, is there a way in Patreon to have it as because you have multiple tiers, right? Certain tiers, essentially one tier it's per month and one tier is on release. Can you do that?
No.
Yeah, it has to be across the board.
Yeah, that's like a broad your whole page. Yeah. Your whole
sucks.
page. It's like a setting for your Well, I mean, I guess it sucks, but I think that's why Pete and Sam had, a Patreon for their YouTube video thing, and then they've got their own personal Patreons. I think the answer is to make a separate page. Had.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see those creeps, those nerds. Again.
They're nerds. I'm going to leave it to nerds, and I'm going to leave it probably right there as well. I thought I had something else to say.
Nerds are creeps. Come on.
Not all nerds are creeps. No,
that's true. Not all nerds.
And not all creeps are nerds.
It depends what you consider what a nerd is, because a person that, Angus Wu, he's super jacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He deadlifts 600 pounds like nobody's business, super jacked. He's a nerd when it comes to weightlifting. He's also a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but when it comes to weightlifting, he's also a really big nerd. You know what I mean? And then it's the same thing with people that are like really into yoga. They're like yoga nerds. They won't shut up about yoga with their other yoga friends. Or someone that's really into religion, right? They're like a nerd towards Christ, right?
I think you have to like something to the point where it makes you kind of like to the average person seem bizarre. Just seem like, wow. Yeah. Just wow. Almost like you're wasting your life because you're so engaged into it. It's like
somebody around the world has to say, "What the hell is this person doing?"
Yeah,
Why is this person doing this?
It's like on Netflix, the Rubik's Cube. Have you seen the Rubik's Cube documentary on Netflix where these people are like competitive Rubik's Cubers and they solve it in like
that's a special
under 7 seconds?
That's a special type of autistic right there.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of them are. And like, but yeah, that's like, to me, I was like, oh, this is like the definition of what a nerd is, because it's like
all these other nerds with their Rubik's Cubes, just like watching people holding their Rubik's Cubes like in disbelief when they see like somebody break a record, like, oh my God.
Yeah, you see them break a record and it's amazing. But then you see them at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're like always fiddling with one. It's like solved, put it down, solved, just all day. You're just always solving one.
I don't know. There's just something that fires off in their head where it's like this seems like a worthwhile purpose goal or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's a strange thing.
Well,
it's like speedrunners too, right? It's like speedrunners is a really fucking weird thing. Like I do not get it at all. But
it's like anything you can get incrementally better at.
Yeah,
and see results.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Speed running, yeah, it's the same. It's just, happens to be good for you, I guess.
Speed running is good for you?
I think so. It's better than
Wait.
just sitting there. It's
What?
exercise.
No. I mean video games, you ass.
Oh, like finishing games real fast.
Yeah, speed running.
Yeah.
What, you thought I was talking about
I thought you were
actual
talking
running?
about some kind of marathon or something like
Oh,
that. It's early
speed
in the morning.
walking?
I didn't have my coffee this morning. I'm just drinking water because I'm trying to drink a glass of water before I drink a glass of coffee. And I'm still working on that water.
Still working on it. So how many cups of coffee do you think you drink a day?
Usually just one in the morning, but
1 cup.
on weekends I might have two.
Oh,
because
God.
I don't have to like.
So I drink this.
Yeah.
Drink all this. How many cups do you think this is?
I don't know, 2 or 3.
It's 4 cups.
Oh.
And I didn't know this, but you know what 4 cups is? That's a liter. I've been drinking a liter of coffee.
That's crazy, dude. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know.
There's no need for it.
No, you're totally right. I either need to like stop putting as much coffee in there and water, or get a smaller French press.
French press.
Yeah.
I drink coffee mostly when I have to be. Well, I like it. I've gotten to the point where actually I just really like coffee now.
Me too.
But but like I started drinking it because there was a point in the day when I needed to be like on and with it. When normally I would be really sleepy at that time, which is usually in the mornings around. I had like morning reviews with the art director every day at I think 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And I've been up for like well over like 2 hours probably at that time, but I'm still not. I'm just slow waking up in the morning, and I'd get to work and I'd still be just a little bit like my brain fire like it is right now. It just doesn't fire as fast, and you have to. And in a review with an AD, you need to be able, because you don't want to spend forever. Like, you've got
thinking,
you got to review like 12 things in a row, and you want to get your thoughts out fast and move on to the next thing. Otherwise, it's just, you're not going to, nothing.
That doesn't sound right. What you just said there. That doesn't sound right. I'm not saying that you didn't phrase it right. I'm just saying like, it seems counterproductive, because if you're like, I'm sure a lot of people do it too, where they're just like, oh, I can't waste too much time on this. I got to like make sure get this out the door. It seems like there's more room for mistake in that process. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can go the other way is you take too long and you don't really come to any decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just at a time when like the AD is so busy in the day. Like
I guess it's pick your poison, right?
Hour, not even an hour. You get like sometimes 15, 20 minutes of his time, and that's the only time you get all day. And like, if you don't get his say one way or another on a particular asset, then that asset can't move forward. It's just dead in the water.
God,
so you like,
sucks.
I got to get through as many of these as possible to keep the train rolling, So that's why it was like really imperative to be just like on it. And, I was like pretty much a production artist for the most part before that time. So when you're like used to thinking in like this slow space, this like long-term kind of like you're doing UVs, so you have a long time to make decisions about little things on your model. And then when you're in a reviewing role, you need to like, because you're looking at, instead of focusing on one model in a day, you might look at like over a dozen models and have to make all kinds of these decisions on these models in one day. You might make, as a production artist, you might make 1 or 2 big decisions about a model in a day, because a lot of it is just churning through it and working on it. But then when you're reviewing, you're making like 1 or 2 big decisions per model per day times, over 12 models. So it's like, you got to really get used to that kind of level of thinking about.
Yeah.
And a lot of it you can just boil down to, does this look right or does this look wrong? And you get a process for most of your decision making.
Is this good? Is this good?
Yeah. Does this adhere to the guidelines we set out? So
I got pocket dialed by Jared Bossy.
oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, and I was texting with him, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm doing well, just working on the next Kickstarter and stuff." And then he wrote back, he's like, "Oh man, I'm really stoked that this is working out for you." And I was like thinking, like, did he not believe in me? He was like, "Oh, Antoine's gonna fail."
I don't think so, dude. I think Jared is like a traditional guy comes from a
He comes from a very blue collar background.
And yeah, it's like
I'm just joking, by the way. I'm just being silly.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm sure you know Jared. He doesn't mean anything harmful.
No, he is about as dangerous as a pool ball at a pool party.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, I made a prototype of stairs, and they fucking work really good, and I'm happy.
Cool. Yeah. Can you stand a figure on them?
I can stand a Warhammer 28 millimeter, 32 millimeter, and I can put a WizKids WizKids 22 millimeter. Yeah, I want to see if my beholder fits on that.
Cool.
Nope, beholder. Well, beholder's fucking huge, so that's okay. It's not meant for a fucking beholder. It's meant for smaller characters. But yeah, I'm happy, and right now I'm working on other stuff that's not stairs, but I have a proof of concept. So, you know, it's nice when there's like when you know like something. You print something and you have like an idea, like, is this going to work? Is this going to interact with the real world once it's 3D printed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it does work, and there's a sense of like I don't know, like the possibilities like open up. And you're like, aha! I have the fucking power now. You can't fuck with me because it works. It works. God damn it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm really stoked about that. So that will the stairs and platform stuff will be like the next piece after this this big platform thing is finito completo.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know what to say. So I'm glad you're making progress. Yeah. We'll see. I just need to see what you're making. I feel like if anybody should know what you're making, it's me, because I'm talking to you about it probably more than anyone else.
Yeah.
But I don't really know. But that's okay. I don't really need to know except for you.
I don't know what you're working on, really. Like, you might talk about it and then when I see it is when everybody else sees it, when it's on Instagram.
That's true. I guess my patrons probably know the quickest of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm not paying to get information from you.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of my friends are patrons of mine. Usually like Oscar.
A lot? What's a lot?
Oscar, Miriam, Olivier. Olivier's like, yeah, he's in the $5 tier. That guy. He's so ridiculous. I'm like,
what a nice dude.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I made a $1 tier mostly for like, because there's patrons artists I liked, and I'm like, oh, I'll throw $1 at you, just out of support. I'm not really gonna like consume your content.
Yeah, that's how I feel about.
Too busy to play with your toys or whatever, but yeah,
I've backed some Kickstarters, and just give them $5. Be like, here you go. I hope this pushes you over the edge, and it gives you more.
Yeah, and that doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, it just helps.
Yeah. So, and it's not much. It's just $1.
Yeah.
Or $5, $3, or whatever it is. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I've got really good friends, I guess.
Sure do. Colleagues, say, right?
As well. Yeah, I met them all at work, so yeah, I guess they started as colleagues, because like not every team you join you become friends with those people. But yeah, I don't know. We bonded because we're all from different. Nobody, like, none of us basically are from Vancouver, so we all have families like somewhere else, and don't always travel back on every holiday, you know. So then it's like, yeah, in Vancouver, it's like there's a pocket of my friends who like Jared, right, who lives around here. It's like, okay, I don't really see Jared during like Christmas or Thanksgiving. It's, you know, he's got his family and stuff here, so
that's a very good point.
Would be nice. Yeah,
you think we'll be able to fly, right? You think for Christmas?
I think you can. I think you can already. I think you can.
Yeah, you can still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
But just a little bit. I'm in no hurry to fly. Although I do need to go see my family. But
yeah, I have to see my family too during Noel.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to turn this into the COVID podcast, but
sorry,
it'll be winter time at that time, and I wonder if it'll get worse or better. Probably worse. So yeah. Oh well. The times we live in. What can you do?
Oh well.
You can just wash your hands and not cough on folks.
You know what? I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not even going to get into the nitty gritty.
We shouldn't. It's not our place.
Because it's not our place, and we're a bunch of dum dums.
Our place in life is to make figurines and small stairs for those figurines to walk on. That is our lot in life, and
that is our lot in life.
That is not necessary, not required.
Everything else we're amateurs in.
Yeah, there's somebody else who does it a much better job.
Yeah,
and it's their job to comment on this stuff. I was thinking about that, like, you know, everyone talks shit about politicians, and you know, rightfully so. A lot of them are stupid and stuff, but like their job is to just be out in public saying controversial shit about the topic of the day and just putting themselves into like a really vulnerable position. And I kind of was thinking about that, like, well, it's kind of a respectful thing. It's like you're just in a minefield, in a verbal minefield, and that's your job. That's like your whole, what's you're adding to society. And it's like, you could totally nuke yourself.
There's a good way and there's a bad way to do it. I think the good way is to have an actual proper hindsight and to call out when your team is for example, we'll use conservative and liberal, so Republican and Democrat, right? If you're a Republican conservative, if you're a conservative person and your conservative party does something where you're like, that's not right, that shouldn't be a thing, you shouldn't be doing that, you should hopefully voice your opinion, be like, this is wrong and this is why. And same thing for the liberal side, right? I really hate it when people that are political pundits that are like, if like here's an example, like Trudeau, our handsome lying politician of Canada, is in a scandal right now with this company called We. Yeah, and it's like this school kind of college kind of fundraiser thing or something like that. But anyways, his wife and his mom, Trudeau's wife and mom, got paid off a nice chunk of change from this company, and in return, Trudeau's giving, a very big contract to this company. Yeah, and all of Trudeau's little minions are like, oh, it's like, oh, he's not in the wrong, they're in the wrong, he's in the, you know what I mean? It's just like, no, he got caught, and he even admitted that he like essentially like was like in cahoots, like he testified twice.
Essentially, that he knew that it was illegal to do so.
Illegal to essentially give a contract to this company where he knew that his wife and his mother worked there.
Yeah, it's against the law. Yeah,
it's against the law, and he knew that. And all his little minions, all his little political pundits, are sticking up for him. It's just like, ugh, just stop. Yeah. Like, everyone sees through your stupidity. It's like, you have the balls to like at least critique your leader, at least to to be like, hey, you need to do better because you're representing me, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it's just like they got to do that just to present any like sort of opposition voice. Because if there was just a void of support for him, whether it made sense or not, if it was just like there was nothing, like then it would become like this a bigger travesty than it is. And yeah, it is a big deal, and it is against the law to fund a campaign or a nonprofit that you're have family in when you're in that position. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like you need support. That's
I
from your
you're
backers. Right. It's like
you just called them backers. God damn, you're tired, aren't you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm losing what to call them. I'm just like
I call them minions because that's what they kind of are. Political pundits.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough. Enough.
More than enough. Jesus.
Enough politics.
Yeah.
Even though Canadian politics are pretty kind of,
pretty dry. Nobody killed each other or like.
Do you remember that one time when they did I think it was during when Stephen Harper was in power. They did a big investigation to see if there was some embezzling of money in the Canadian government or whatever, and they spent over $1 million in this investigation, and they found that it was like something like $50,000 was misplaced in the Canadian government. So they spent $1 million of taxpayers to try to find,
the 50,000. It's like
50,000. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. It's pretty
like,
ridiculous.
That's like the salary of like, a guy in catering or something like that who like, oh no, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did. We ordered fish tacos and I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't cover for fish tacos. Although apparently they have like parties that are like, I mean, yeah, it's easy for a party.
We're falling back. We're falling back into the politics thing. We're falling back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's boring, and we're not good at it. So, tell me about this week. You're gonna make more stairs, or are you gonna make ladders?
That app. You're the worst. You're the worst fucking interviewer. So, you're gonna make some stairs? No. I'm just trucking away. I'm just doing my thing, and I'm getting closer to the core set. I gotta quit holding these stairs. I'm just so excited about them.
You should paint them and share them.
Oh, but like, there's nothing to paint. They're just like, they don't even have plugs to like plug into anything. They're just there, and I just like, put my finger on the bottom here so it's standing straight, and then just tested to see if miniatures stuck on it.
Gotcha.
But
so you got to make something to plug into those stairs too.
Oh, I already have it. I already have some stuff. Okay. But no, like I said, I'm just getting closer to the core set, and then once that's done and good, and I have that's all nicely put onto a bow, I think then I could start moving into like making. I think this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, this is my idea. So I finish the core set, and then I move on to the last. Come on, don't yawn. Stick
Sorry, I'm tired. I'm interested.
Put your arms up. Put your arms up or something, or get blood rushing to your head.
Okay.
But what I want to do is I want to make the last model in the stretch goal, which is this big kind of cathedral thing. That you can like remove the top. There's like an inside, and then you can remove another layer, and then there's the bottom.
Okay.
And I want to make that the next thing, so I kind of have essentially like the end goal, and then I have the start bit already done, right? So then and then in between I can make attachments or like other one-off pieces and stuff like that, and then it's like then I have like my two of my base, and I just have to fill the in between. So instead of like just making, you know what I mean, and then being like, yeah, I think it's time to quit now. I can like start, finish, and now it's time to fill the middle like a bun.
Yeah. Last time you were making like a city, so it was really you're just kind of making more structures and buildings, and it was like at some point there was like an organic stop point where it's like
where it's like I have enough now. I have enough.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be a lot better if I had like a start and an end, because then I can make things that go with start, or make things that go with the end, or make some new in between bits in the middle. You know what I mean? I think it'll be a lot healthier in the long run.
Yeah, man.
So
I like to make like every release. It's like I've got one thing, like one main figure guy that's kind of the meat and potatoes of the release. But then there's a lot of other small, there's like the cards and sometimes another model that's like accompanies it. Other kind of just random stuff to help it along, make it seem more than what it is.
Oh, dude, there's a Patreon out there. I forget the name, but I saw it when I was watching Squidguard on YouTube's or whatever. And he has a friend he was talking about, and he was kind of helping promote his friend's Patreon. And this friend would make models that were like designed essentially just for miniature painters. So he'd make like busts. Like he had this one bust where it was like this troll and his arms were up like this, but it was just his head, arms, and his kind of torso, and then it kind of cut under his belly, and so he didn't have any like hips or legs, and it was just like a little bust figure.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be really neat, like to have a bust version of like once you could show off, once you get your your resin printer that you've been talking about. That when are you going to get it in, by the way?
I don't know exactly. It's because we pre-ordered it in the second wave, and the first wave is being shipped out right now.
Okay.
So I don't know how long it will take after that. But
fair enough. But anyways,
it could be in September.
Fair enough. But like once you get that, you can show off like some wicked awesome high res stuff, and then also it'd be really neat to have show off essentially like maybe a bust. So like your what is it? The dark apprentice with his hand up like that. You know what I mean? It'd be really cool if you cut him out, like you cut the one arm off and like cut it down towards the torso, and have the one arm kind of up, kind of like that with him, and have it like it's a bigger model and it's like a like a bust figure. I think that'd be really cool to have that as like a piece, or have each release you could have like a bust form of each model. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's and it could just be like and it's like it doesn't like the amount of work is so small. You know what I mean for you?
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it for every character. You can do it for like maybe just like maybe if somebody's like you can do a poll where it's like, hey, which character? Maybe like a couple months will pass by and you have a couple characters, and you could be like, hey, which character you want to be turned into a bust or whatever? Which one you would like to see be turned into a bust, and then you can do that, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's kind of a cool, could be a cool bonus release. Like, hey, it's the bust of the guy, and so you can print him. You can see all of his details extra big.
Yeah. And then also totally like, reaching out to painters and be like, hey, print this fucking cool shit, man.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I ordered some resin figures to have them mailed to a painter in Germany who I connected with on Instagram.
Cool.
And but the thing is, they've been in the mail for like over a month, and they got to sort of like this big city in Germany, and they just haven't moved. And I don't know who to I don't know who to call to like say, hey, what's happening with these figures, because they're just, I don't know if it's because of COVID or what. They're just like,
it's probably because of that.
They've just been parked in Germany, in Frankfurt, for like weeks now. So yeah, it sucks because the guy was like, he's anticipating it. He's getting more excited about free figures and stuff. And but I don't know. Yeah, so I think when I do get my resin printer, I might just print him off another set and just try and send it out again. But I'll use UPS. UPS is great, man. It's a couple more dollars than the basic shittiest Canada Post option.
Yeah.
But it's so much better. Like they email
Light
you
years.
tracking code right away. Things get there in like half the time, and like they tell you when it's going to get there, and if there's any issues, it's like it's not crazy. Like you'd think it would be really expensive, but it's not too much more than regular.
Yeah, well, think about what you're sending though, right? You're sending something very lightweight and very tiny. You know what I mean? Because when when you're using UPS and stuff like that, what they take in consideration is weight and size, right?
Yeah.
And the I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure the weight is not as big a factor as the size. It's like room wise. Mm-hmm. Like if your thing takes up more room, but it's not as heavy as this other thing.
Yeah.
The thing that takes up more room will always be more expensive.
Yeah. What's up, Fabrice? Hey guys.
Hi, Fabrice.
He asks, any take about the bad news for patron getting wrecked by justice fees? So I don't know exactly what you mean by justice fees. I do know that like the VAT tax is added to digital goods. Because on Patreon you list your benefits and what they are, and now they've got like a special type of benefit for digital goods on Patreon so that you can add taxes to it. But it seemed like not a crazy amount to me, so maybe there are some other fees that Fabrice is referring to here. Patreon isn't what it used to be, apparently.
Really?
Because there would be no taxes on anything that you offered.
Oh my god!
And you would retain a much higher percentage of your backer contributions, right? Like I think now the basic, the first, if you don't want to upgrade to some kind of pro plan or something like that, it's like 7 or 8% goes to Patreon. So
7,
it's
right?
Like,
wow.
Yeah. So
crazy, my dude.
Yeah. Everywhere there's no way to sell anything online without somebody taking a cut, whether it's PayPal or whoever.
Yeah. My Mini Factory, they take their cut.
Yeah, they do. Hey, so I guess I have a question for you, because like
Kickstarter?
How do you do your payouts on My Mini Factory? Do you have to click somewhere to say, send me the money to PayPal or something, or does it just get sent to your PayPal automatically?
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah,
you got to request it.
You do?
So
Okay.
you request it, and depending if it's a campaign or it's actual sales, it's a little different. So I'm pretty sure on sales on My Mini Factory, if it's, I think it's like they take $2 from every $100 or something like that. They take like $2 from every $100 you pay out. And then the campaign ones, I don't think they take anything for the campaign ones. But yeah, you have to send a request, and depending on the amount it will take longer or shorter. And then also, I think it also depends on like during the week, right? They pay out every 2 weeks. They pay out, so it's like a payroll almost. So depending on when you ask for the request, it might feel like it might take a long time, but it's just because of the payroll method they do out. So you send in a request, and then you become essentially queued in to the payroll to when the next payroll happens. So yeah, that's how it works.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
I got to figure that out. I was looking for it. I was like,
I'll show you.
Yeah, you have to show me. So I'm just like, for the longest time, I was only selling just enough to cover the fees, basically, on there. But I think, I don't know.
What you want to do is you just want to click your little icon in the My Mini Factory page, and then it'll give you a big list of a bunch of like just things and stuff like that. And then what you want to go to is you want to go to stats, like statists. So like it's
Okay.
all your stats and stuff like that. And at the bottom area, it has like sales, right? And then you click sales, and then you scroll down, and then you can and you can ask for like how much you want to get paid out, right? Or you can just ask for the
Oh,
whole
okay.
thing.
Yeah. Interesting. Uh, it is interesting. As I yawn, just
As you
yawn my
yawn.
face off.
As I
I'm gonna have to follow
yawn.
up with you, Fabrice. Maybe I'm not sure. I did a quick Google. Um, Justice fees on Patreon. I really don't know what you're referring to, but it sounds terrifying that something is like making it cruddy. Uh, I don't want it to be cruddy. I want it to like be the future.
Be the future.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why some people, because the one gentleman you were talking to, right, was saying that he switched to Gumroad, right? But you say you're
Yeah.
working with a guy, and he's like, I'm going to Gumroad instead.
No. It was Duncan Shadow. He said he's
Oh,
going to Gumroad in addition to Patreon. I think.
in addition, yeah. Well, I wonder why that's because like I was on his Patreon a little while ago, and he lost a little bit of followers, and I was like, oh, that sucks probably because of the pandemic or whatever. But maybe some of them switched to Gumroad instead.
Yeah. That
Maybe
might
he's
be.
doing a slow transition.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. I mean, Fabrice is like, yeah, like predicting doom and gloom for Patreon.
Putting
So
putting the putting the fear of God in your soul.
yeah. Oh shoot.
Well,
Oh well.
what do you know? What's the Gumroad stuff like? What's the shtick? Because you have to pay a
Well,
prescription to Gumroad to like use their
to sign up with Gumroad.
yeah. I'm pretty sure
I've never downloaded from Gumroad, and I've never put a model or a tutorial up on Gumroad.
you can put a model up or anything up on Gumroad, but there's a limit. It's like 10 megabytes or whatever, or 10 gigabytes, or I don't know. Looking
That's not very
just
much.
it's like a small amount. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think Patreon is like you can attach up to 500 megabytes, which is enough for me because I don't have like 30 minis to distribute. I just have like one or two or three
Yeah.
at a time, so it's totally fine. But
That
yeah, I
wouldn't
don't
be
know.
fine for me.
Yeah, you sell everything in big ass
Well,
collections.
but sometimes the models like I make are like they acquire a couple pieces, right? And like
Yeah,
depending what I'm making, I
but how
want the
many?
detail.
If you were doing the Patreon model instead of Kickstarter, how
Yeah.
many could you make in a month? How many would you do in a month?
It all depends, right? It depends on like what I'm making. So if it was sci-fi, I could pump out a lot more. Let's just give that example, like sci-fi wise, in a month.
Comfortably now, not like
Comfortably, yeah. Not me pulling out I was about to say my hair, but there's none to pull. Maybe on my shoulder. I pulled up my
your shoulder hair.
shoulder hair out of pure panic. Just the comfortability. Let me think. I would say, but also the pressure's on. You know what I mean? There's probably a way different pressure when you have a Patreon, when you have to have like a fulfillment thing going on every month. You know what I mean? So there's like probably a feeling of like, all right, gotta fucking hunker in today because gotta get this release done.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna say, let's say 6 models.
6 models. Yeah.
Yeah, six environment models.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing though, like that, it depends like their size and stuff like that too, right? So I would say,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you'd probably have. Yeah, you could like have 6 like evenly detailed models. You could have one that's kind of the set piece, and then a few
Yeah.
like then I have 3 sets of cover. I got a few sets of
Yeah.
whatever, I don't know, destructible.
Probably like one big one, and then like it probably will be like one big one, and then and then a couple more medium ones, and then a couple more smaller ones. It'll be kind of like a scale, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean, man? I think if the day comes, which I'm sure it will, when you do this a full-time gig, and you either A, get sacked, or B, just pull the plug yourself. Let's be honest, you'd rather want to get sacked than actually
Have to quit.
Yeah, that takes courage, man, to be like, I'm going to
I don't know. I don't know
leave.
if I want to get sacked. I don't know if anybody wants to get sacked.
Yeah, but that's a good thing though, right? Because then it pushes you up against the wall, and then it's like, well, now it's time for you to fucking.
That's true. Yeah,
get going.
in that way, it's like, yeah, if you lose your job, then you're forced to kind of just
adapt
fully. Yeah, it would light a fire under your butt. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I think I was thinking about this last night because we were talking about it over blueberry. I wanted to say muffins, blueberry cake.
Yeah,
blueberry bread. Where'd you get all those blueberries? Because like you guys were like texting
dude, we
me.
offered you. Yeah, we were like, do you want to get some blueberries with us? There's just, I don't know, Sam, just like those fruit trucks. People sell bulk fruit cheap.
Yeah, she just
So
bought
that's what we
all of
did.
it.
Yeah, she bought a lot. Yeah.
Damn. It was really good, by the way. Anyways, we were eating blueberry stuff, pastries, and then when I got home and I was modeling, I was thinking like, I think you could easily make like 6 or 7 characters a month, but you'd have to be smart about it, right? So I was like thinking like, okay, let's say you can make a main character, like a one big kind of like, well, something with a little bit more detail, right? Like you would say, and then you can easily make a secondary kind of character that can be posed in a couple ways. So you can have like multiple and stuff like that, and have like maybe a couple different items on them, or like different things on there. Like maybe like one has like 2 big shoulder pads and one doesn't have. Like you can easily make 3 or 4 of those, right? Off of the same kind of model.
Yeah.
So right there you have 5, and then you can make some sort of like creature thing, and then maybe make like a smaller, different creature version thing with that. And then so right there you can have like 7, and then maybe you can have a character riding that creature. So like that's a completely different model right there.
People do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like easily right there, like you could still like, because you really like getting into the nitty gritty and like getting into the fucking model and like making fucking scars on their faces and like, like you like doing that, right? Or am I mistaken?
Yep. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so you can do that with one model, and then do maybe less of that, but you make like multiple character versions. And yeah, I could totally see you make 7 or 6 characters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then also making a bust, right? Like if you want to do the bust route, like we were talking before, you can also throw in that bust with the one character, the main piece character, right? Yeah. So I don't think it's that crazy to be making 6 characters a month or 5 characters a month.
Well, it's definitely not crazy. People are doing it. It's not that it's
but like you're one person, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of these teams are 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and sometimes the second person isn't like the one.
Yeah,
like Ve Victus miniatures, they do like there's 2 artists, and one does the characters and one does environment set pieces, and then they put it together under one Patreon, and they have kind of a tier you can get. There's like a character tier, an environment tier, then everything all in.
How does that work, right? Like, how do they divvy up the money, right?
I think that there are like a couple. I think they're married or something like that. So that's just
the way you need to do it. That's because if you're just like 2 dudes like me and you, and we're not in a romantic relationship, and you're trying to like be like, okay, you do environments, you do characters, but then let's say more people are buying characters and no one's buying my environments. You're just like, it's like, hey, I want more money. I'm doing just as much work. It's like, but then there's like the conflict thing, and
that's right.
So it's like yeah, it's getting in business with somebody that is not like someone that you're like you really like or you really respect, and they have the equal amount of feelings towards you. It sounds like a disaster. This one time, my dad used to run a business. He sold the business, but his partner, he found out. Actually, my mom found out. He found out that his business partner took took from the company. I think it was $40,000 or $50,000 in from the company through a credit card, like through the company. And my mom found that out.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this motherfucker didn't even like mention it or didn't even talk about it or whatever. And then when he got confronted by it, he was just like, "Oh, we got bills to pay and stuff like that." And it's just like, yeah, so does my dad and our family too. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, I don't know. It's just people are shitty. So the best person you can trust is yourself. So invest in yourself.
It's, it's like, it's not only that, like this was like a conversation I had with somebody recently about who was like saying, "Hey, I'll offer to support your models, like create supports for resin. And he'll take a whatever, fee or, sure." And it's like, let's assume that that's like, you're somebody I trust and I know you'll do a good job. Mm-hmm. It's like, if my customer has a problem with the support and I don't have the tools to solve that problem for them, like I'm reliant on you to solve that problem for me, for them. Yeah. Like, what if you're on vacation at that time? It's like, I am totally powerless. And I'm just,
not just that.
Even if you're like a good friend, it's just, go ahead. Yeah.
So not even just that. Let's say you have a big month coming up and you have a bunch of models and you're like, "Oh, fuck, I got all these models done, but now I have to do like the support work." It's like, well, it's a good thing I have Joe Blow that does all my support work. And then you call him and he's like, "Hey, listen, dude, I don't do that anymore and I'm doing something else. Good luck." And you're like, fuck, now I have to figure out this shit.
Yeah. You're just introducing like liability and risk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's just better if I just take it slow. When I get my resin printer, then I'll be able to make support for myself. And then I know I've tested them myself and I know what's good and bad about them, or,
Then you're undeniable, right? No one can touch you.
Yeah. I can totally just handle it myself. And, maybe I probably won't get as many patrons on my way to that because I don't offer supports, but I just can't handle that stress of
but also you save money and then you gain a skill, right? Yeah. And and like you said, the opportunity for something to go wrong usually happens, right? And so
always.
It'd be nice if you knew how to fix that, right?
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. I remember Bill Burr was saying, he said he was watching a documentary or something, and he was saying that in this is a completely different industry, but he was talking about the record companies, and he was saying essentially if it's more profitable to keep 100% of like your IP or like of your work or whatever, and only sell 20,000 albums than it is to be working for a company, be working for a studio, and you sell 1 million albums.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because like the thing is, like, if you start outsourcing a bunch of things and it's like, I don't like right now outsourcing a bunch of work doesn't make any sense because you're just, we have small businesses, right?
Yeah.
And we should try to mitigate the hassle and the headache of doing that thing where you're kind of outsourcing and stuff like that, because it does take time and money. And if you don't have the capital to like invest in that and take a hit if you do invest in it, you know what I mean? That's, you can really fuck yourself over. So you might as well, do it yourself. Get some experience, and then once you have the experience and you know what you want and you know what you're looking for, and And if something does go wrong, you still have the tools to be like, okay, that went wrong, but if I have to, I can fix this. Are you smiling at Sam? What's going on?
Yeah, Sam's here.
Hi, Sam.
It's probably time to wrap up. I think that's
okay.
why she's peeking.
Oh, that's why she's peeking. I was on a big rant, and then I stopped because you're smirking around.
I think it was a good rant.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean, right? Like, learn that stuff, and if it's really hard and you can't do it, well, I don't know. Just do what you can do.
That's all I'm gonna do. Fabrice says 6 months ago nobody was offering supports on their models. So
yeah, now fucking everybody's like supports.
And you know what, dude? I'm seeing a lot of people offering 5e stats with their models now.
They're what?
It's offering the D&D stat sheets.
Oh!
I'm seeing more Patreons pop up and do this.
Okay. Oh, looks like you're an early adopter, right?
Noticing a trend.
Damn right you are.
You want to be the first one, though. You want to be.
That's true. You don't want to be the first, and you don't want to be the last. You want to be that kind of that in between thing. Right. But however, though, remember what what's his name? Seth Godin. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be the vast, vague thing, right? You want to find that little niche kind of area or whatever.
Yep.
That's right. Where people will prop you up.
Yeah.
So anyways,
let's talk about it next week, because I do have to bounce here. Thanks, Fabrice, for showing up and contributing. And I'm going to follow up on what you mentioned there, and maybe look into Gumroad this week. And just wrap my head around that, so I'm ready if I need to be. What are you up to, or where can I find you, or say some words and then I'll say
some words. Well, first I'm going to thank the people that have watched this, and thank Fabrice, I guess, for watching this. Thanks for joining another episode of Playing the Artist, a show where we just do that. We talk about being artists. That's the start, Antoine. What are you doing? If you want to support the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon, and you can join us every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Alex, where can we find you?
Yes, sir. Patreon.com/TigerSkullRPG, or just TigerSkullRPG.com, and on Instagram, TigerSkullRPG, of course.
All right. You can find me at Forbidden Prints on Instagram, Twitter. If you have 3D printers, you can print some of my work for free on my mini factory, Forbidden Prints, or Thingiverse, Forbidden Prints. Alex, I'll see you in the next one.
Righto. Okay.
All right.
Good day.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye.